Hey everyone, thanks for joining me tonight. This is the Fake Slim Shady streaming tonight. And instead of doing our regular Bioshock and video game stream, I thought I'd change it up tonight with a LEGO live build of the Tokyo, Japan architecture set that LEGO put out in the more recent years. I got this for my 28th birthday a couple weeks ago from a very good friend, and let's see what we can do with this thing. I haven't even opened this yet, so bear with me. One second. So tape this sucker up real good. Let's get this going. This set comes with 547 pieces. We've got some long boys right here. More of the detailed bits. Some edging pieces, among other things. Okay. We've got our kit unboxed. Give me just one moment here. Try to move my camera back so we can get a better surface to build this on. Oh, and right off the bat, you've got a quote from Yuku Tsushima, who I don't know who that is, but something related to Japan. A quote about Tokyo, I assume. And I'll leave a picture of this in the stream notes if you guys want to read it later. Okay, so it's actually really interesting. Maybe some of these architecture kits, I only have one other architecture kit. They seem to have kind of encyclopedia entries for the things that you're building. So you've got to flip a few pages before you get to the actual instructions. Okay, so we're going to start with the bag number 1. And do be careful, there's 2 different bag 1s in here, but it looks like for the beginning we're going to be starting with the bigger of the bag number 1 bags. Move this manual out of the way to the side a little bit. So we are looking for a very specific small piece to start with, and it's this guy right here. Looks like your normal flat piece, but has some sideways facing tabs as well. We're going to need one of the regular flat boys. I take it at the beginning we're just building the viewing platform that the rest of the kit is going to sit on. So I need another one of those odd shaped ones and a small equivalent of that guy. Right. Like this. And I am sorry for those of you who are tuning in, hopefully seeing the exact step-by-step process of how to build this. I don't really have the capabilities of showing each step-by-step process up close, but hopefully you'll enjoy just watching the overall process with me. And if not, I'm sorry. And thanks for watching anyway. Where are you guys? Oh, wait a minute. I'm going to push my camera back just a little bit further. There. I'm also realizing this might not be the best audio for a live stream, what with all the clinking parts and ripping of the bags, but thank you all for bearing with me. I need this guy. It looks like we're just going down the line. Ruh-roh. Hopefully my battery doesn't die on my laptop, because that noise we just heard was the AC cable just dropping behind the desk. Tiny pieces. Gotta find those tiny, tiny pieces. Where? So apparently when the instructions say that we're using the parts from bag one, they just mean go ahead and open all of the components in the various bag ones. Jordan mentioned, as far as the audio quality goes, I should brand this as an anti-ASMR stream, and I think that's probably dead on. Interesting. I need a 3-prong right here. It doesn't help that at the beginning of this set, all the pieces you're putting together are black. Now a smooth guy. There we go. Now we flip her over, try and get the base filled out a little bit more. Get her back over. Right here. Bam. When I'm putting together kits or models or Legos, I tend to listen to a lot of podcasting. Things that I enjoy listening to are My Brother and Me, LeVar Burton reads. It's kind of like a grown-up version of Reading Rainbow, which I think a lot of us saw growing up. The McElroy brothers and their father in the Adventure Zone. There's just a lot I enjoy listening to while I do these kinds of builds, but for our streaming purposes, I don't have the rights to stream such a thing. Okay, so we are starting on our second little piece. Second platform at any rate. Need another one. And this gets attached to the main platform. And boy, howdy, they don't try to do you any favors in this manual. I know all the pieces are black, but boy, howdy. I gather that is why most architecture kits from LEGO tend to be graded for ages 16 and above. Maybe in the future I can get some non-copyrighted music to go over the back of this. But I do thank you guys for tuning in. And let's see. Small piece. 3 prongs. There we go. Flip him back over to keep adding onto the base. Okay. Whatever. There she was, just walking down the street, singing public domain songs only count. And if I don't hum the whole thing, I imagine. Okay, now we attach the 2 halves of the platform together. And we finish off the platform by adding some smooth pieces to the front. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 1 more, a 4. I'll flip this around as soon as I get them put on. So now we have the bulk of the base assembled. You can see, whoop, where is he? Tokyo. But wait, there's more base. Whew, boy. No trouble in my voice. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh baby, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. 'Cause I can only sing songs and not stream them. Maybe on future streams I can figure out how to get a secondary camera to try and angle in on these tight shots. But for the past few years, once a month or so, every Saturday, or a Saturday out of every month, I put together some kind of little kit or something some sort of DIY, whether it's Legos or cardboard art or what have you. It can be fun. I've put together, those fake off-brand Lego kits that are just teeny tiny pieces. Those are a whole lot of fun. So if you guys want to see anything like that in the future, do let me know. That small kit I think was like $1 at a dollar store in Japan. Oh, where do you go? Okay, you go right there. Adding on teeny tiny pieces to try and make this base as secure as possible. Okay, Jordan. I get your comment now. I see what's happening. Where's Paul? I know he hasn't moved yet. Tell him to get on the stream. It would appear as though I am all about that base. But later we will get some treble and towers. Do we know when he is moving up yet, or no? He's sticking around here. Which one is it? So for those of you joining in, Wise Beard Man is my lifelong cousin, and our cousin, well, his sister, my cousin Cameron, and her husband Paul are moving up to Vermont shortly, but he will be sticking around here in North Carolina, finishing up things, getting their house packed up and put on the market while Cameron goes up to Vermont and starts to experience that cold a little bit sooner while she starts her new job, of which I think she's working in a summer camp, which is what she's been doing for a while now. But she wanted to just change the nitty gritty of what she was actually doing. There we go. Okay, so actually she'll be working for a Catholic college up in Vermont, which she's been a missionary for probably about the past decade or so of her life, off and on. So that'll be right up her alley. Wait a minute. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Okay. But wait, there's more base. So that's happy to hear that she'll be doing similar work to what she's already been doing. Now onto the slightly less dark gray pieces. Yeah, I swear there's more colors than black in this set. So, Brick Grandmaster, thanks for joining us just now. I am putting together the Lego Architecture Tokyo, Japan kit. It's one that I just got a couple weeks ago, but haven't put together before. So this is our first build on it. Many apologies, Grandmaster, if you are looking for a step-by-step tutorial. We're just hanging out putting bricks together, but hopefully you can stick around if you want. Are you a Lego streamer yourself, Grandmaster? Are you more of a live streamer, or do you put like edited, produced videos together? Every time I can't find a brick, I'm gonna fill with my nice karate moves that I stole from Ronald McDonald on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. This is actually, tonight is my first time streaming a Lego build. I normally stream video games. So thank you for popping in tonight, Grandmaster. Given the opportunity, I would love to put together more kits and more builds, but we will see what the market is for that right now. And everyone's favorite time of putting together Legos is when you put the two teeny tiny pieces together and you can't get them to come apart. That's what this bad boy is for. Kind of just a little lever can opener, if you will, for your bricks. I don't remember having these in our Lego kits when we were kids, but on the on this architecture kit and the more kind of just design architecture kit that I have, they come with these little tools to make sure that you can pull out any bricks that you put in errantly. I'm about to do it again. Jordan's got me by like 4 or 5 years, so if he says we had him, we probably had him. Get a little corner piece. I know without the sound, this is probably going to be a little different, but this kind of just reminds me. My friend Matt likes to send me a bunch of videos on Reddit under the like oddly satisfying sub, and a lot of those videos will have things where it's just like, you know, that local channel on your TV station, the local TV station where, you know, anyone and everyone can make a TV show, and it's you know, your dad's friend Bill down the street putting together his little model train kits. Those are always fun videos to watch. Now, just go ahead and be prepared to. You might not have children. You might not even be an uncle or anything. But you may want to go ahead and adopt that dad persona, because as soon as you get into watching or creating these types of videos, you're old. You know, watching how it's made. That's for dads, and I like it, but it's for dads. So go ahead and start writing down as many dad jokes as you can, because it's never too early. You never know when you're gonna need just a real quick zinger. Anytime you just have it in your back pocket, you know, bring it on out. You. Oh, Jordan, I got to thinking about your dad, my uncle, last night. I was watching Bones and David Boreanaz's character, and his son end up calling the stepdad in that show Captain Fantastic, and couldn't help but think of that record that your dad has, Captain Fantastic, um, the self-titled LP from that band. It's a really good album, and I've got the CD of it in my car. And I'd recommend anyone who likes kind of progressive rock in the vein of like Yes or Rush or kind of in that vein. They probably like Captain Fantastic. I swear all the pieces are here. Maybe. There we go. And we need. No, there we go. No, not you. You've got these itty bitty pieces for like the sidewalks and stuff. Always love Lego's attention to detail on their small bricks. Yes, there we go. There's that last little sidewalk piece. Is it you? There we go. Nope, wait a minute. We've made a mistake. Oh. I skipped like one brick. And this tool doesn't do a whole heck of a lot on these flat pieces. Maybe able to pry them up. There we go. I'm going to pause for just a second, try and get this thing back to a place where we can move forward. So let's call it a 5. Hey guys, thanks for hanging out. I just needed to fix a brick that I had missed, but I've got it back in place, and so we can keep moving forward. Okay. I promise you, we will finish this base at some point. Some of these teeny tiny flat ones, it's easy to just smush it onto the tip of your finger and lift it as such. Provided you can find the right piece. I think I'm like one piece away from finishing the base. Hopefully. So now we have the base covered almost entirely in gray pieces. Well, we're going to put more details on the base, which I guess there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. After filling up most of these pegs with bricks, I'm starting to think that some of these buildings might just be standing straight up on a single brick. Where are these pieces? I need like a brick helper, someone to come just hand me the right pieces when I need them. Flip. There we go. As you can see, we've got some rounded single peg pieces. So the detailing on this is pretty minute. Or rather, they're doing all the small details. And for those that have never been to Japan or Tokyo, I'd recommend going, even if you don't know the language. Tokyo specifically, most of the signage on subways and trains and businesses are going to be in both Japanese and English. So it's really easy to get around Tokyo, even if you don't know the language. I've been studying Japanese for about the past 3 years, but even when I didn't know the language that well, when I was there studying in Tokyo, I didn't feel like the fact that I was learning was a handicap to live there either. Now, that's not to say that one shouldn't learn the language. It's a fun language to learn, if not just a difficult and time-consuming one. But yeah, I'd highly recommend going. A lot of folks out there tend to think that Japan is just anime, video games, cat girls, but when you go to Tokyo, when you go to Japan, you learn that there's so much more to that culture than just the pop culture and media that we get over here in the West. The reverence for nature, just you can go, you'll be smack dab in the middle of Tokyo, and then walk 500 yards down the street, and there will be a temple or shrine that's hundreds of years old. The city has just been built up around. So even when you're in this first world country, it's really easy to see Japan is just a very interesting mixture of new and old, or rather like traditional and modern aesthetics and cultures. So it's just a very diverse society, diverse aspects of its culture that I think really one can only fully grasp if they immerse themselves in it. Try to find this see-through piece. Oh my goodness, red. We get to start building. We can do the real thing. Jordan's been keeping track of the colors we've been going through. Much appreciated. Oh, we need to make 2 of these. we are working on what will end up looking like the Eiffel Tower, but it's actually known as the Tokyo Tower in the middle of downtown Tokyo. It looks almost exactly like the Eiffel Tower. So if you've seen some older anime that is set in Tokyo, or which you thought was set in Japan, but then you were like, are they in Paris? They're most likely in Tokyo, and that's just the Tokyo Tower. I remember there was one of the Tenchi Muyo in Love movies. He had to travel back in time and essentially back to the future of his parents. Yeah, when they ended up going on a class trip to what I thought was the Eiffel Tower when I was young, but they were in fact going to the Tokyo Tower. And okay. Oops. I've actually mismatched the brown and the black pieces here, but with the way that it will end up looking when it's all done, it won't actually matter because you can just rotate it. This radial base, seeing that I can rotate it, it won't make any difference. More of the squares, but it needs to go over the black ones, not the brown ones. Okay. Now we take some more of these guys. Ooh, we get to play with some of these tiny bricks that have essentially a minifigure's hand on it. Let's see, we do that twice. There we go. I'm coming up because you're gonna get this party started. I could try to sing the words to songs. I don't know a lot of them. Ooh, that's just when you get just a little hamburger of pieces all together like that and squish them all together. There's nothing quite as satisfying. We're going to put these angled with slopes on the four edges of our new base. Yeah, the only problem with most hamburgers is that I pretty much only want cheese, and they just McDonald's and everywhere just always seem to screw that up. I don't want pickles. I don't want mustard. Just give me ketchup and cheese. So now we need these little seesaw looking pieces. And we're going to add the grated bricks over it, as well as one of these little guys. And we do that total of 4 times. My worst fear when getting a new Lego set is that over there in Sweden or Switzerland, I can't remember where Legos are from. Denmark? But over there at the factory, I forgot to put one little brick in there, and that's just always my fear, is that you're going to get to the end of that build and you're going to be like, where's that one brick I need? That's pretty much always like, that's how I feel with jigsaw puzzles as well. Last year at the start of the pandemic, me and my parents started putting together a 1,000-piece Winnie the Pooh puzzle. But with it being on our dining room table, and my brother getting married last year and me graduating last year, we ended up having to clear that down. But hopefully we can get that jigsaw puzzle back out at some point and keep working on that. But now that we have all 4 of our little legs, they turn out to be, we will attach them to the little arms on our new base. And we're kind of building something similar to like the lunar lander. And I don't believe the real Tokyo Tower has, adjustable joints like that. Jordan akined it to a crab bot. That's not far off at all. Okay, let's flatten him out so he stands all his legs at the same height. Maybe. Close enough. And then we take these rounded skirt edges. And that's actually, that's going to help us with our spacing on the legs, I believe. Maybe. There we go. So you can see the skirt snaps on actually underneath the legs, so that will help space these out. He looks even more like a crab. Woo. So we're about halfway done with the Tokyo Tower. We're actually going to snap it onto the base now. So that's what each of these 4 little prongs are for. Bada bing. Give that a good tamp down so that it's all sitting flat. You can see we now have our second base attached to the main base. Take the spire. Oh, yes, stack these bad boys. Supposedly. Wait a minute. There's two different kinds of these. Huh. Am I doing this right? Yep, there we go. So I had to slide that second guy down on top of the spire. And then we need to make the buttresses that come off of the spire. And these radiate out from the center. Make sure we put grates on top of the buttresses. Boom. Okay. And we need to assemble a little base for the spire. Take the white piece and the corresponding black piece, sandwich them together. Ooh, flip it over. Take the small white round piece, place it on the bottom. And then we place the spire on top of this base. And to smooth out the edges, we're going to put these tiny, smooth white bricks on the corners. As you can see, I got one there now, and I'm going to do the other three. Boom. So now all four of those corners are white. Oh, and he actually goes, you turn him upside down and he goes into the tower. Question mark? Yeah. He snaps right in there. So now we take our brown spire. We're going to do something not unlike what we just did. take this dotted cube, slide it on down. There we go. Underneath him, you need to put a single white dot. Pardon me, 2 single white dots. We're going to put underneath this guy. We're going to put some more grating on the outside of this guy. All 4 sides. Do one more. We take another stack of those white dots. Make your stack 2 dots. We're going to slide him down the spire. Potentially. When these pieces are new, they're pretty much the exact size they need to be, if not just a little bit bigger. So you may need to screw it down with your hand a bit. It doesn't really want to slide. And we take another one of these dot cubes and twist it down. And we're going to line him up to match the first one. And we're going to take white grate siding and attach to all 4 sides. Boom. Okay. Make another one of our 2 dot stacks. Twist him down the spire. We're going to put one more of these dot cubes on top. So that he sits on top of those 2 dots, just as before. And we're going to switch back to the red grating. To mark all 4 sides. And then he actually, whoa. That step I messed up. So instead of going straight to the red grating at the top, so we're actually going to take, there are some red pieces as such that need to have the red grating attached to them. And after that is when you add them to the spire. make sure, since you're going to have that extra red piece sticking out, make sure you orient them so that they're all facing different directions. Or else they won't all fit onto the spire. Ooh, ooh. Now that we have him, we're going to flip him over. And with him flipped over, we're going to keep adding to our upside down tower. I told you this thing looks like the Eiffel Tower. Now we have just a black rod that we're going to place in the inverted white satellite dish. Ooh. As such. We then take the black single dot disc and slide him down. Take another one of our white satellites. We're going to place it the other direction down the spire so that it makes another neat little hamburger right there. We're going to take another one of our 2-dot stacks, slide him down. So that he goes onto the top of the satellite. And then we take one of the brick cubes, or sorry, dot cubes, we're calling them, and place it on top of the spire. Here we take the last 4 great white pieces, and we're going to put them on each of the 4 sides of our dot brick. Maybe I can do this up closer to the camera. So that there's 4 grates on here. After such, we reorient it so that the satellite cap is on top, and we place him onto the top of our tower. Now, a lot of times Lego bricks stick in really well and they don't shuffle around a lot, but seeing as how this tower, the top of it is pretty much only sustained by those rods, you will get, it will be a little shaky, but seeing as it's an architecture kit, we're likely going to build it and admire it. Now to just add the antenna to the top of the tower, we take 2 red minifigure heads, essentially. Stack them. With our last white spire, we're going to put it on top of there. We have this conical white piece. It slides down nice and snug. And the top of the Tokyo Tower is now in place. Huzzah! Okay, so the next piece we're working on looks like a little pagoda, or they look like, I don't think it's called pagoda in Japanese, but I don't know what they are called. We're going to take these kind of jade green looking pieces. These brown single pieces and start stacking them in between each other. Oh, wait. Stacking them in between each other. And it looks like we do that a total of 5 times. But these pagodas, or what they are called in Japanese, tend to stand in Buddhist temples throughout Japan. They're multi-tiered towers. Oftentimes, I don't think you can go inside of them. They're just really for religious iconography. But I won't say litter. They dot Japan all across. But Japan's not the only place that they have them. I know they have them in places in other East Asian countries such as China or Taiwan. I'm fairly certain. And it might be one of those other countries' languages where the English pagoda comes from. Because every time I point at one of these towers to one of my Japanese friends, it's like, pagoda, pagoda. They're like, what is that? Even though phonetically, pagoda could be a Japanese word, but no Japanese friend of mine seems to know it. Place one black brick on top and then the brown cone over top of it. This guy is going to get placed. I'll go ahead and swing him around. Swing the whole set around. He's going to get placed right in front of the Tokyo Tower. Woo. Amazing. Ooh, next we get to build just a tiny little flower bush. On the day of this stream, it's April 10th. So it's probably right during cherry blossom season in Japan, at least in certain parts. Contrary to popular belief, Japan is geographically a lot longer north to south than it is, than most people seem to think that it is. I thought that with it being an island, Japan was, maybe as big as New England, when it turns out north to south, it's actually a lot closer to like the north and south of the United States. So you'll have places where it'll be already summer, but up in the northern areas, it's a lot cooler and still springtime. And you may have, you'll have flowers blooming in various stages throughout Japan, but Tokyo is probably right in its cherry blossom season right now. Not a lot of folks know this, but actually the cherry blossom trees on the National Mall in Washington, D.C., they were a gift from the Japanese government after World War II, as an apology from the Japanese to us. I personally think we've got a lot to apologize for too, but it's nice to be able to see that our countries can get along. Okay. We're done, essentially, with the first bags of bricks. Just gonna sweep my extra pieces out of the way. Ziploc those up later. Just because it's always nice to keep your extra pieces should anything fall off or become broken. So now we take our number two bags. And start getting to work on the other buildings in this set. It looks like the next one we're going to work on is a traditional archway that leads to the entrance, or is essentially the entrance of Buddhist temples and Shinto shrines, and it's called a Torii gate. In English, we would spell that Torii. Torii, not to be confused with just tori, which is bird, but the traditional archways are they're kind of like, I would say, maybe the vestibule of a church. It's really just the entranceway to this religious holy ground, and it's just a way for pilgrims to really acknowledge the ground that they're entering and make those preparations to become closer to the divinity. Other things that are very common at the openings of temples and shrines is there's usually going to be a fountain with water springing out of it with ladles. And what one does is they take that ladle, they splash the water left, right, left in their hands, and then actually I'm still not quite certain on this one, but I think it depends on which generation you ask. You'll either drink that last bit of water or take the water into your mouth and actually spit it out. And that's another way of purifying and cleaning oneself before they approach either the Buddha inside the temple or the sanctified areas of the shrine itself. And one other aspect I should mention is that Shinto shrines and Buddhist temples, they kind of look pretty similar, but they actually have differences to them. I couldn't really say what they are offhand, other than I guess that the temples are going to have iconography of a Buddha. Shinto shrines don't, and that's because they are two different religions. Most people in Japan would say that they are not religious, but they actually do follow or give some sort of Shinto or Buddhist practices in their everyday life. And that can be as simple as going to the temple or shrine to pray, but they don't necessarily go to religious services. They might have an altar inside their home where they honor their deceased ancestors, kind of like the Mexican ofrenda that we see in the Coco movie from Pixar. But it's just a way that Japanese individuals can honor their ancestors, and not only honor their ancestors, but honor themselves by honoring their ancestors. Like many East Asian cultures, Japan is very heavy on showing respect to your elders and to your family. Their names, much like Chinese names and several other East Asian names, you have the family name first. So one of my friends, in English, her name's Arisa Nimoto, but anytime she speaks in Japanese, she would introduce herself as Nimoto Arisa. And that's just because the honor that's associated with your family it's a pretty big deal, kind of, I guess, the way fraternities or older names are here in America. They're just not as old as names are in Japan. Okay. So we'll go ahead and open up one of these smaller number 2 bags. Woo. To get at some of these tiny pieces, because we need to take some of these brown pieces and start adding them together. You gotta love when you hear a brick bounce, but you don't hear it hit the floor. So we have our little H that we're going to place these black single dots onto. From there, we're going to add another thin, long brown brick. We'll switch over to white, potentially. Wait a minute. There we go. So we put one of the smooth pieces in the center here, but then we take the dotted single squares, put on the sides as such, to which we add more of these black flat bricks. As such. And we cap it with a smooth, flat black piece. And now he gets placed onto those 2 arched pieces we had initially put on our base. Whoop. Down here in the center. More flowers. And actually, a pastime for people in Japan and Tokyo is it's called hanami, and in English it literally translates to just watching flowers. And so it's not uncommon for young people or people of any age to gather with their friends and loved ones, go out to a park and lay down a blanket and just have a picnic out underneath the cherry blossoms. Ueno Park in Tokyo is a favorite of mine for doing just that. But Yeah, right now is really the time when people would be going on these hanami to look at the flowers right now. And so we take our little bush stems and just put a pink cherry blossom on each of them. Jordan, thanks for stopping by. Thank you so much for watching. Part of Shinto tradition reveres that while there may not be an actual, well, kind of different than I would say more Western religious traditions, Shinto just posits that divinity is in nature. So lots of Shinto shrines will be built at a waterfall or at a mountain so that people can worship that specific natural feature of the earth and really just acknowledge and appreciate the divinity that is in nature by its very nature. These new flower bushes are going to go right in front of the torii. Make our third flower bush. And I guess at this scale, they're probably more like trees. Two years ago, when I was studying in Japan, my parents and brother actually came to visit me in Tokyo right around this time. I think it might have been the first week in March that they came to visit, and we lucked out in that some shrines had actually, I guess, cultivated some cherry blossoms in greenhouses and then brought the trees out to the temple so that people could start celebrating, even if they weren't naturally growing outside quite yet. And so being able to share that experience with my parents and my brother was really special. Okay, it looks like most of the other buildings are all going to be relatively small. Not that they won't be fun to build, but let's do it. Maybe. We've got some new bricks that we're going to use after we break the top of the tower. I swear. Here we go. Take 2 of these new bricks, stack them together, and we are going to find there are these translucent orange pieces that are going to go with this brown building. He goes on this side. And then we take, there's a white brick equivalent to the one we just used. Make a stack out of those. We actually have some fun pieces to decorate this building with. We have just a rainbow. There is, I don't know the legality of same-sex marriages in Japan, right now, but I do know that there are some sections in Tokyo that are, I guess one would say, the gay part of town, and they're full with gay bars, similar to how we have gay bars here in America. This almost looks like an earthquake of some sort. Which I've only felt one earthquake here in North Carolina, but going to Tokyo, all of us exchange students, we just had everyone's phone number, and anytime there would be a new earthquake, we would just text everyone and be like, hey, did you guys feel that? And I think most of the locals, like our resident advisors and stuff, they were like, oh yeah, we feel the or we barely even notice the earthquakes anymore. They're just, that's just part of living in Japan. So actually, when new people move there to Japan, there's usually a kind of seminar class that one has to go to, in which they experience a simulated earthquake and have to they're taught how to survive in that type of situation. I know some of my friends kind of got hurt during that simulation. They would get underneath like a table that was bolted to the floor, and then they would put on like shake the room that they're in to, almost like a 6 or 7 on the Richter scale. And a buddy of mine said that his knees got real tore up because he was just sitting on the floor on his knees. We've got some pieces that we're looking for. Okay. So for this next detail, it's actually a long brick all to its own. We make 2 blue buildings as such. And now we've got our small buildings over here. Oh, but these buildings are getting fleshed out a little bit more. Now we're going to be working with a lot of these translucent colored pieces. I assume for the neon lights that one can see in Tokyo. Blue, yellow. Another blue, I think. So I took 2 more of those new white bricks, and we added green, blue, yellow, and blue angled translucent pieces. That'll go on the side over here. And I know this set's kind of far away from the camera, y'all. I appreciate it, y'all sticking around, and I'll be sure to show a close up of it when we're all finished. Take 2 more of those white bricks, make another building out of them. And then we have an orange translucent brick with a triangle in it. I don't know if you can see the difference there. And we put him over next to this building. Now we're going to make a lot more neon. Get this tiny blue translucent dot. We've got some of these blue bricks that we use. Okay. There we go. Put the single dot cap on it. And we're going to do that twice. Assuming I can find the piece. As such. And place another one of those blue homies on top, ensuring that their extra bricks or their tabs are both oriented in the same direction. I do apologize, everyone. I know these pieces are really small, but I'll show you what I'm doing up close here. On one side, we add red translucent grate and another rainbow. On the other side, we're going to add a red translucent square. And a green translucent rectangle. Okay. He goes in front of this side here. Oh, yes. He's going to sit just a little bit lower than the two buildings next to him. But you can see I've got those three buildings next to each other now. And now we get the fun of taking a bunch of these translucent single dots and stacking them together. And it looks like it goes from red to orange to yellow to green to blue. It's red, red, pink, pink, orange, orange, yellow, yellow. Well, wait a minute. They have such small gradients on these different colors. So it goes from like, you can see how close these are all in color. Okay, wait, what? Okay. It might help if I just read the instructions. So it looks like it goes. We've got a red one. We've got, gracious, some of these colors look exactly the same. What do you think we go? Red and then pink, or red and orange? Probably red and then pink. Red, pink. And that says we need 2 of those pinks. So we do the other pink. We only do 1 orange. No, wait. Yeah. If this one ain't exact, y'all, it probably don't matter. But I'm gonna look at it for a long time anyway. Nine. Please don't struggle on this as hard as I am, y'all. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. And I think I got him right. He goes in front of that building. And now we're just going to make some little tiny guys. Take one of these blue bricks right here and a tan pyramid cap. Put it on top, and we're going to do that 4 times. There we go. Everyone hang out for just 1 second here. Thanks for the patience, y'all. It's coming out so nice. Thank you, Kylie. Kylie is actually my friend who got me this kit for my birthday. So thank you so much. We make some fun with, we've got some translucent bricks. One of them's a pyramid. That's gonna go down in front on this side. Yep. Maybe. There we go. So you see we've got those 4 little guys down there and the clear one down in front. Okay. Take our brown flat guy. I'm going to take a lot of these tan pyramids, place them all around the edge. Whoa, 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 whoa. Singing generic songs that don't exist so that there can be some background. Even if that means that everyone's like, hey, what you singing? And I'm like, nothing at all. I just made this song up as I went along. More pyramids. There we go. One more. And then we take our brown circular piece. Attach him in the center there. And we flip him. And we put these dark blue single pieces as such. Oh, wow. And it looks like, okay. So then we take him, and while he's still upside down, we place him over top of those other pyramids. And because of that circular piece in the center, they will connect together. And I think we are coming up on the last section here. We've got fancy pieces. And on the bottom, we take this guy with the cross in the center, place him onto the underside. We take a white square and lengthen the back here. Now we need this curious piece right here. Goes on the right. Oop. Click. And just your standard white two-piece back. Now out of the little tube, you're going to insert this black rod that also has a tube attached to it. Oh. Theoretically. Into which we're going to place these kind of more Duke blue rods. And this is actually known as the Mode Gakuen Cocoon Tower. And after we are finished building it, you will probably see why. Okay, now we are making more rod things. Take a white and a black and you put them together. Into which you slide an inverted gray spire. Don't be afraid to get strong with it. Okay. And then we take some more of these dark blue minifigure heads, essentially. We're going to layer them with some white dots. Do that 3 times, but also put, wait, nope. I already lost the thing. Where did you go? Here we go. Place him over top. And then we're going to slide a black cone just on the tip there. And we're going to take the side that we had already been working on, take our rod and place it into that tube that we had attached. So then we need to make another one of those original things, but make sure you grab one of the ones that has the oval in it because they alternate. we're going to take the other oval with a cross, place it just the same way we did before, and we are going to attach him to the one that we had already built. And they just line up so that it's a smooth surface. Is this thing going to spin? I think this cocoon tower is going to spin. Because we're getting into like these gear pieces that you don't see in many kits. Take a tiny gear. Oh wait, we need one of those black gear rods. No? Where are you? Could have swore I opened up all these little bags. Okay. No, we needed the brown gear rod, and it's got a little cap on one end. We're going to take the tiny gear, slide him on down. And then we've got this gray radial gear that slides after. And we take these long gear tubes and slide it down to follow. You know, you try at any rate. Dang. But at any rate, you take the red gear rod, insert it into the top, and then we take, what do we take? Ah, okay. And so one of these 3 extending rods, gear rods, is going to go into the cross slot of its piece. Take some of these black dots, stack them together. Ooh, a black cone. And we're actually going to do this upside down, so the black cone goes on the bottom of the 2 of them. And we take one of these yellow gear rods and slide it into the butthole of the cone. And then we take another one of these tiny gray gears, slide after. And then we take another one of our tri-radial gear rods, radial gear rods, put them on here. And then we are going to take our piece that we've been working on and add to that side. Okay, it looks like we do kind of a similar process that we've been doing so far. Take another one of these sides. Make sure you start with the plain one without the oval, and attach the oval with the cross. Extend the back with one of these white squares. Add the funky piece. It's got the tiny tube in it. And another piece just for size. We're going to extend him one more time by putting another white square on him. And into the tube, we're going to place another one of those black rods and a corresponding blue rod. Take the white dot, take the black dot, put them together, invert the spire, go down, make sure you twist it on real good. Woo. And if you can't twist it on, then maybe just cry, but we'll keep trying to twist it on. Ew. There we go. Take a blue minifig head, white dot, minifig head, white dot, minifig head, and a white dot. There we go. Now we take a black cone, put them on top, and we are going to do the same thing we did before, where we just slide this rod into the tube. No worries if it breaks a little bit. Legos go back together. And now we take another one of our oval side pieces, attach an oval on a cross, and we're going to add him to our existing piece, just as such. And we're actually going to do that 2 times. Right? Yes. So we'll take one of these, the second one that we've built, and it is just going to slot in to our radial gears. Now we're going to make one more side to add the same thing. Almost do this one a little bit by memory at this point, being our third one. And then take the black tube, the blue tube, there we go. Make another one of our little spires. There. Minifig head. Dot. Minifig head. Dot. Minifig head. Dot. Ooh. And black cone. Slide him in. And then we are going to take our last piece, our last curved edge piece, attach its black piece, combine the two side pieces, and now we are going to take the original structure we've been adding on to and add this side again. There we go. And it should appear as such now. Oh, and he just lives in this. When we were building our base, there was one tiny slot that had it. Huh. The trick is to insert it without busting everything out. It doesn't even look like it extends down far. He isn't sticking out quite far enough. So if you run into the issue that I am, make sure and you go inside and you just tap this gear up a little bit so that our red gear rod sticks out a little bit more. That should give you plenty of room to be able to slide him into the base there. Nope. You just have to be careful. Take the red guy out. So now, if I do this, there we go. Okay. Again, these are Legos. They come apart and go together. So if you're having trouble with that, you may just need to open up the cocoon tower, take out the red rod, and just insert it into the base, and then insert the rest of the tower on top of it. Let me plug in my PC real quick, y'all. Okay, so we're on the last few steps. We are going to keep extending these blue and white rods that we have at the front of the cocoon tower. Take a white dot, minifig head, white dot, whoop, minifig head, and we're actually only going to do it, it's only going to be 2 long this time. Put the black dot on top, and he goes right down the tube. And so now it goes the entire length of the building. And we're going to do that another 2 times. Need to stop reaching over the tower here. Down the tube. And I know this is on the back side, so you can't see, but it's just the same that it is on the front here. Be very ginger with it. And then, ooh, I think we're almost done. Make sure you put a white satellite on top of the cocoon. And then, let's see here, we're going to decorate the back of it. And just add a little frame on the back here. Just so you can see these gray pieces right here are what I'm adding. We're adding more to it. We're going to start with this sloped piece, though. Ooh. It can be hard to push them together when they're only a single tab deep. There's multiple layers on the back here. I think what we're building actually is going to be the edifice of Mount Fuji behind all of Tokyo. It's something like a few hundred miles away from Tokyo, I want to say. But on clear, sunshiny days, you can actually see Mount Fuji from Tokyo if you go up in high towers in, say, Shibuya or Shinjuku. such as the Cocoon Tower or any other tall structure, oftentimes you can see Mount Fuji on those bright days. And we're just still adding more and more to the back here. I will show it to you guys at the end, but let's see, we're going to need, real quick, these small pieces right here. 2 of them to stack together. Underneath a slant piece, we're going to put a single white square right there. We're going to add it to the back. See. And I think we're going to add some snow now. I like these inverted ones. Wait a minute. Okay. Put a smooth cap on top. Okay. Man, just when you think you're finished with this kit. Yellow rod, gray gear tube. Take the long black gear rod, attach it as well. We've got a black circle. We're going to slide down the black rod. And add another one with the gray gear tubes. It's hard to tell when those ones click together quite right. Now we've got this captain's wheel that we're going to place underneath the yellow rod and slide it up. Oh. But before you do, make sure you've got a black circle on top of it. There we go. And he gets placed back behind. Okay. We take this larger black circle, put smaller black circle on the bottom of it. Attach one of these gray gear tubes in the center there. It just clicks in between the dots. Huh. Okay. To which we take this half cone and add we're going to take our mid-size gray gear, thread him in through the top. And upside down, he's going to get added to this bad boy. Okay, we've got our gray rod, some gray, they look kind of like wheels, and attach them to the rod. This is going to be one of our smooth rods that we have. We place the black satellite dish onto it, upside down. And that'll help keep it on. We take this flat black, like Mortal Kombat hat, and attach him. And we add a white minifigure head. Oh, but it has to go in the correct orientation. Make sure it's also upside down. We add this to our tower as such. Good glob. Okay. We have these more slender white pieces. Attach two of them to each other. Insert a black rod into the bottom. And we're going to take the other two white minifig heads and attach them. Well, actually, we're going to do it in their normal orientation, because we're going to then flip him over. Wait a minute. Yep, there we go. I believe we're building the Tokyo Sky Tree right now, which is even taller than the Tokyo Tower, surprisingly. So the one bag we haven't opened up have these long white pieces. And we're going to take one of them and attach kind of a minifigure arm to it. And we're going to do that. There's 8 of these. So we're going to do that with all 8 of them. And they click to that captain's wheel that we had. Whoop. Just 2 more. There we go. And then these long tubes actually, our half cone has an open side to which we just tuck each of them. And you want to kind of angle them so that they're not bulging out. And there we have the LEGO Architecture Tokyo, Japan set. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I'm going to try and take some pictures of these and put them online, but thank you so much for watching. We'll probably be back on Monday with getting back into game streaming, but thank you so much for checking us out tonight. This is DeFake Slim Shady, and keep it sleazy.